Dreamscape presents The Sport of the Gods by Laurence Dunbar. Narrated by Crisden. 1. The Hamiltons. Fiction has said so much in regret of the old days when there were plantations and overseers and masters and slaves that it was good to come upon such a household as Barry Hamilton's, if for no other reason than it afforded a relief from the monotony of tiresome iteration. The little cottage in which he lived with his wife, Fannie, who was housekeeper to the Oakleys, and his son and daughter, Joe and Kit, sat back in the yard some 100 paces from the mansion of his employer. It was somewhat in the manner of the old cabin in the quarters, with which usage as well as tradition had made both master and servant familiar. But, unlike the cabin of the elder day, it was a neatly furnished, modern house, the home of a typical, good-living Negro. For 20 years Barry Hamilton had been butler for Maurice Oakley. He was one of the many slaves who, upon their accession to freedom, had not left the South, but had wandered from place to place in their own beloved section, waiting, working, and struggling to rise with its rehabilitated fortunes. The first faint signs of recovery were being seen when he came to Maurice Oakley as a servant. Through thick and thin he remained with him, and when the final upward tendency of his employer began, his fortunes had increased in like manner. When, having married, Oakley bought the great house in which he now lived, he left the little servant's cottage in the yard, for, as he said laughingly, "There is no telling when Barry will be following my example and be taking a wife unto himself." His joking prophecy came true very soon. Barry had long had a tenderness for Fannie, the housekeeper. As she retained her post under the new Mrs. Oakley, and as there was a cottage ready to his hand, it promised to be cheaper and more convenient all around to get married. Fannie was willing, and so the matter was settled. Fannie had never regretted her choice, nor had Barry ever had cause to curse his utilitarian ideas. The stream of years had flowed pleasantly and peacefully with them. Their little sorrows had come, but their joys had been many. As time went on, the little cottage grew in comfort. It was replenished with things handed down from the house from time to time, and with others bought from the pair's earnings. Barry had time for his lodge, and Fannie time to spare for her own house and garden. Flowers bloomed in the little plot in front and behind it. Vegetables and greens testified to the housewife's industry. Over the door of the little house a fine Virginia creeper bent and fell in graceful curves, and a cluster of insistent...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?